Good evening, folks. As you all know, this is story time. And as such, I have a story for you. I'm going to read it now. Once upon a time, in the golden-hued land of 2025, a boneheaded buffoon named Donald Trump returned to the White House for his second term. With a crusty gleam in his eye and a tweet-ready thumb, he declared, "I'm going to make America greater than great. Trust me, folks, it'll be tremendous." But oh, how the fates had other plans. Trump, brimming with ignorance and false confidence, insisted on doing things his way, ignoring the whispers of advisors who begged him to reconsider. First, he doubled down on tariffs, slapping 100% tax on all imported goods, from Chinese tech to Canadian maple syrup. "We'll make everything here," he boomed, picturing a factory on every corner. His inadvisable choices spelled certain doom, a tale of hubris that leads us to today's episode: Top 3 reasons why Trump is doomed. Tune in, folks, as we unpack the chaos, the backlash, and the inevitable fall. Because when you play with fire, even the golden hair gets burned. Are you ready to get into it? Because I am. Let's go. Story time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining me here at Storytime. I have quite a show in store for you, so I'm glad you all came. I saw somebody comment earlier. I think it was Meredith, said she misses my wigs. Yeah, the wigs were fun. I might get back to it at some point, but for right now, those days were crazy, and there was a lot of planning and a lot of stuff that went into those episodes. Not saying that I'm not going to get back to that. Just let a brother catch his breath. So, happy Friday indeed. Let's see who we got here. Oh, we got Joanne Kennedy at the top. What happened, Zelda? You turn around, she snatched your seat. Joanne is there, and there's Zelda right below there. And let's see, we got Valerie G, Meredith Powell, Fox Hill Dreams, Mary Margaret Rachel is here. Denise is here. Sandra Lee. Hey, Philosophy is in the heezy. Glad to have you back here, my buddy. We missed you, Phil. Philosophy, aka also known as Jonathan Slater. Let's see. Ness from Connecticut is here. Mama AG. And yes, Joanne Kennedy, I will be attending the Not not the White House Correspondents' dinner, which I will get into in a little bit. Kiki is here. Lucy L. Crusty diaper. Queen of the South is here. Nurse Mitch, aka Tracy M, is here. Okay, so and there's Cindy C, of course. Samantha Hawkins. The Trump Reaper. Watcher Soko. Cecile Kazemi. Deborah Baldini wants to know, are we live? Yes. Yes, we are live. I really enjoy doing live thing. Like, you guys have seen all of the mishaps we've had during live broadcasts, where sometimes the camera will just go out, or the audio, or whatever the case might be. We'll have some nasty trolls who show up, and then our moderators. These are top notch, top flight moderators. I am the envy of most shows, because our moderators do not mess around. Anyway, like I said, as I was reading my story to you, there is more to that story. I just didn't want to, you can't give up all the cookies in the beginning of the show. You got to save some for later. So stay tuned. We will wrap that story. We'll fill in some of the blanks in there. But first, let's jump into what I like to call our stories of the day.
Stories of the day.
Okay, so stories of the day. Our graphic, the graphic for the show, is top 3 reasons Trump is doomed. And I know, if I had a nickel, for every time we have said, guys, we got him, I'd have a bag full of nickels. No joke, I would. But that's not the point. The point is, this is different, and he is doing it to himself. Say what you will. I'm fine with going on the record, to say to say this time is different. Damn it. But yeah, for real. There's some stuff going down. Like, for instance, Pete Hegseth. And by the way, this actually has nothing to do with him being doomed. It just kind of lends an air to the aura of failure that this administration is going through. Pete Hegseth, famously the former Fox News drunken, what do they call him? Whiskey leaks. Whiskey leaks. Excuse me. is now embroiled in SignalGate 2.0. It is amazing that this guy still has a job. Any one of us, we would have been fired by now after all of the chaos that he's invited. And at the very least, if Pete Hegseth was any kind of a real man, I'm talking to you, Pete. Put the vodka down, damn it. I'm talking to you. If you was a real man, if you really had your boss's back, if you didn't want him catching flack, catching strays from your bullshit, you would resign. You would absolutely turn in your resignation. Boss, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's too much bad luggage attached to me. That's what you would do. But you ain't no real man. He's a punk ass biatch. Speaking of punk ass biatch, you may remember this scene from the Oval Office when Vladimir Zelensky got ganged up on by the couch fucker J.D. Vance and his boss Donald Trump, and Donald Trump does not have that same energy for the guy who started the war in Ukraine, um, Vladimir Putin. He doesn't have that at all. The most he can muster is is a tersely worded "please Vladimir" tweet. I kid you not. It's a disgrace, absolute disgrace. And last but not least, our top story of the show will be the ultimate demise. And I will count down the three. This is not like, just mind you, this is not like a lot of those YouTube shows, because I've been analyzing YouTube shows. Some of them are very, very good and they have very high production value, right? But what I hate about the world of YouTube is that so much of it is clickbait. So much of it promises to deliver something and they don't deliver it. That's not what you're going to get here. What you're going to get is what I promise: the top 3 reasons why Trump is doomed. And I'm going to bring them to you. Minimum 3. Minimum 3. If this is your first time here, please make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. It's very helpful for the show. I greatly appreciate your like, which looks like a thumbs up. Please hit that, and the subscribe. Subscribe help the channel grow. So this week started off really funky. You know, then ironically, it was the day after Easter that we lost what I would say is a great man, a man of humility, a man of love. Now, many of you already know I'm Muslim, right? We don't acknowledge a pope. We acknowledge the existence of the pope, but he's not our guy. But that was my guy. That Pope Francis, that was my guy. I truly loved this pope, and I can't say that about a lot of people. I remember when he came to New York. He came to visit New York. I was excited about it. I ran out. They sold these stuffed Pope things. He sits on my shelf, by the way. As long as I've been doing this show, this little Pope from 7-Eleven has been with me for every single show. So he usually goes up on the shelf there, right next to the robot from Lost in Space, and behind Spidey, and just to the left of Yoda. Wait, is that Yoda? Yeah, that's Yoda. You got a crazy shelf here. Anyway, this has been with me since I feel like he came over in 2011 or 2012. Long time I've had this. But he made a huge impact on, of course, millions of lives. I think that the thing that hit me, the thing that struck me was this washing of people's feet, just like not kings and queens, it's just random Joes and Janes that he was washing their feet. And I was like, wow, he is the real deal. He was the real deal. So I will sorely miss him. I remember we've had popes. We had that guy Benedict. I didn't care for him at all. I was not feeling Pope Benedict. He might have been a wonderful man, you know. I don't remember him. I remember not getting a warm and fuzzy feeling from that guy. I do remember Pope John Paul. I think he was Pope John Paul II. I believe someone attempted to assassinate him. I remember, kind of a nice guy. I remember a warm feeling from him, but nothing comparing to Pope Francis. This was a good guy, and he will be sorely missed by millions. Currently, they are undergoing a thing called the conclave. I think. I'm not sure if that's starting right now. I know that the actual funeral is tomorrow. They said they're expecting at least 500,000 people to attend the funeral. I suspect probably closer to 1 million. He was widely loved. I don't know if you could fit 1 million people there, but His funeral is going to be tomorrow, starting at 3:45 a.m., which I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit. I probably will be awake at that time. I should not be, but I probably will be. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh, okay. Let me jump right into movies because it's Friday night, so we got pizza and movie night, and I am actually very excited about this movie. It's called Havoc, and it's starring a guy who is quickly becoming one of my favorite actors, Tom Hardy. And it's directed by a guy named Gareth Edwards. I hope I didn't butcher that. It's Gareth Edwards, I believe, is the guy who directed the movie The Raid, and Raid 2. And if you saw those movies, you know those were like heart pulse pounding, heart busting action, wall to wall action movies where this Indonesian cop like had to run the gauntlet between all these drug dealers in this high rise building and stay alive. And incredible movie. Anyway, he's directing this movie Havoc, in which Tom Hardy has to traverse kind of his own gauntlet of mobsters, and he's great. He's great for the action. I'm looking forward to it. I think Forrest Whitaker is in this, and also this guy named Timothy Oliphant. If anyone out there has watched Deadwood, if you saw Deadwood, Timothy Oliphant is the was the sheriff in that. You know, he's very intense actor. So this should be a great movie. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. And Ness, yes, I did watch episode 2 of Last of Us season 2. I think that's on my agenda to discuss tonight. But first, Dope Thief. I don't know if I've talked about this show, Dope Thief, yet, but it's on Apple TV. They just aired the season finale. I don't know if they're doing a season 2 of it, but it actually was a really, really engaging movie where these two guys, the guy on the right, his name is Brian Tyree Henry, talented young actor, and I can't remember the name of the guy on the left, but many of you probably recognize him from Narcos. Amazing actor. I'm embarrassed that I don't remember his name, but anyway, these two guys pretended to be DEA drug enforcement agents, right? And they were robbing they were robbing drug dealers in Philadelphia. Anyway, they pretty much saturated that market. They robbed everybody you could possibly rob. So they're like, we gotta expand our circle and rob somebody else. Anyway, you know what happened was they robbed the wrong house. that house, like, of all the houses you could pick to rob, why would you pick that one? And shit went haywire, sideways from that moment on. So anyway, highly recommend this show. It's 8 episodes, I believe, but very emotional, jam-packed, very strong acting performances across the board. Highly recommend. Great show. Oh, and Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames is in this too. He plays main character Ray's father. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So who was it that asked me about the Last of Us here? Was that Ness from Connecticut? Yeah, it was. So no spoilers. I don't do spoilers, right? But what I will say is that this was one of the most incredible episodes of any show I've ever seen. And I don't say that lightly because I've watched, all of the major shows, Breaking Bad, The Wire, Boardwalk Empire, you name it, all of the big major shows, I've seen them all. Game of Thrones, right? Walking Dead. And this, holy shit, this episode had everything. It was like, it was a major attack from all these infected. And there was a major a major event, is all I can say. That was shocking, to say the least. The only thing that I could compare it to was an episode early on of Game of Thrones. That's all I will say. But it was a shocker, a bona fide. I was like, oh, but it's like, wait. You know what I was like? I was like this. I can't. What? That's what I was like. That's what I was like. Yeah, it was very shocking. So anyway, yeah, that was the major attack there. Great show. Get into it. This is season 2 right now. Season 2, episode 3 coming up on Sunday. And coming up tomorrow is a special show. It's called Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It is being broadcast live on pay-per-view on April 26th. That's tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, do not miss this. I am in this show. So what it is that there's a comedian known as Amber Ruffin, and Amber was uninvited from the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the actual one. So you guys know the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Every year, the all of the journalists and the movers and shakers in DC, they show up for a dinner in which the president of the United States gets roasted, right? We all know that. We've seen George Bush go to these things. We've seen President Obama. We've seen President Biden go to these things. But who will not go is the one guy who loves to insult people, right? This guy who makes up the silliest, childish names for people, that jackass has no sense of humor, right? So just out of a sense, I guess, of precaution, they decided not to invite Amber Ruffin. She refused to go along with. They wanted to kind of try to make an argument that both sides are equally shitty, and she was like, nah, fuck you. She's like, I'm not doing that. And so kudos, bravo to her for not going along with that bullshit. Anyway, I do have a preview for you guys. They asked me to do so it's supposed to be comedy, right? I'm not a comedian. I never pretend to be. I do not pretend to be. So I did the best I could do, and I'll share with you a little bit from my intro. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here at the Not White House Correspondents' Dinner. I just flew back from Gulag in El Salvador, and boy, are my tattooed arms tired. My name is Majid Bedelin, but many of you may know me as Brooklyn Dad Defiant, the guy who looks for creative ways to call Donald Trump a piece of shit on Twitter every day.
Great job.
By now, you may have heard that Trump is not expected to attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner, mostly because he is afraid of catching a stray insult, even though it is expected that they've removed any possible threat of his little ego being hurt by comedy. so that's it. It apparently I do clean up okay. Brother put a suit on. I had the golden curtains behind me. Oh, Zelda, my friend, thank you so much. Thank you, Zelda, for your kindness and generosity to the show. I greatly appreciate you. You know what time it is. Thank you so much, my friend. And so I hope you guys are able to tune in to this thing tomorrow, the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's starting at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and it's not just me, obviously. It's and we've got Elaine Boozler, John Fugelsang, Trey Crowder. You guys know Trey Crowder. That brother is funny. With he's got the Southern accent. I'm pretty sure that's authentic. It's legit. Stephanie Miller is going to be there. JoJo from Joy's, Hal Sparks, Glenn Kirshner, Dean Obadela, Brian Karam, Frangela. My eyes are hurting me now. Frank Conniff. I want to say Frank Conniff, Alonzo. I can't read this. Muller She Wrote is going to be there, and I can't see because this thing is blocking me. But oh wait, let's see. Oh, Chuck Nice, Alonzo Bodden, Allison Gill. Okay, there we go. So tune in if you are able tomorrow night at 9 p.m. The website. Sorry, the web address is meet. Damn it. I had it. Give me a second here. Not Correspondents Dinner. I'm going to be posting a tweet about this later on. The web address is meethook.live/not. In fact, here's what we're going to do. We're going to copy that. And in real time, I'm just going to boom, boom, save, and show. There we go. meethook.live/not. That's meethook.live/not. And I think it's like $20. $20, and you get entertained by 16 or more comedians and or political pundits. So hope to see you guys there. And let's go ahead and jump right on into our stories of the day. We have FBI arrests Wisconsin Judge Dugan on obstruction charge, escalates Trump immigration enforcement effort. I saw comments earlier in the chat. People were saying that somebody was saying that now it's two judges. Two have been arrested. I only know about the one. Judge Dugan, apparently, what had happened was that she had allowed an undocumented immigrant to use a side door that was only available. Only judges are supposed to use this. Judges and members of the court are supposed to use this. And the ICE agents came to apprehend this person, and she let him slip out the side door. I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at her about it because, somebody mentioned, well, first of all, let me read my tweet from earlier today. For the people celebrating the weaponized arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan by the Trump administration because, quote unquote, she broke the law, just remember that it also used to be against the law to hide folks like Anne Frank. What side of history are you on? So Anne Frank, I'm sure most of you know, I don't have to give a history lesson. Anne Frank famously was allowed to hide with her, I think with her family in the attic from Nazis. And back then, you were not allowed to hide to hide Jewish people. That they were considered, illegal as they were being rounded up. So not mad at her. But what I am mad about is what they're doing by arresting undocumented immigrants in the courthouse. They're creating a problem. They don't realize, or maybe they do realize and they just don't give a shit. But if you're creating a precedent by arresting undocumented immigrants in the court where previously they felt safe to show up as witnesses, as material witnesses to crimes, now they're not going to feel as they're not going to feel safe to show up. What if I go to court and they try to arrest me there, take me away from my family, ship me off to El Salvador, without any kind of trial or any hearing or anything. Just boom, I'm gone. My family never sees me again. That's what you're creating by doing that. By arresting judges, they're weaponizing this process. They're trying to send a message. They don't like the fact that the judges are standing up to Trump and to the Trump administration for what they see as overreach. They're standing up, and that's what they're supposed to do. Judges, the judiciary is an equal and separate branch of our government. We have three of them. We have the executive, the judicial, and the legislative, right? They're all supposed to be separate but equal. There's supposed to be checks and balances on each other. And the executive branch is pissed off that the other branch, that the judicial branch, is not bending over and letting them do whatever they want, like half of the legislative branch is doing. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that is what we are seeing from the Trump administration. Hey, here's some corruption that that is actually getting their comeuppance. George Santos was sentenced to 87 months in prison, which it looks like it's about between 6 and 8 years in prison. That is no joke. And I just want to play for you. There was some audio. Wait, do I have that? Let's see. Some recently surfaced audio. Oh no. Let's go here. Give me a second, you guys. I got it. There it is. Okay. Let's present. Share screen. Storytime. Oh, it's not there. Let's refresh that. Trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it. Here we go. Here we go.
If he died, yeah, sure. I don't believe in killing people. I believe in putting them through the criminal justice system and making them pay for their crimes. I get a lot of pleasure in seeing people pay for their crimes in jail, not putting them on a chair or giving them a shot, because that's the easy.
That is George Santos saying that he gets a lot of pleasure in seeing people pay for their crimes in jail. Isn't that ironic? It's like rain on your wedding day. Oh man, isn't that crazy when life catches up to you, huh? Okay, so let's what's next here? We got Pete Hegseth's Signal saga gets worse with report of dirty internet line. Not just any internet line, it's the dirty kind. Yeah, listen, I need internet line so I can run this Signal thing through my office at the Pentagon. But Mr. Hegseth, Signal is not permitted. I know. So, just get me a dirty internet line, filthy. Yeah, so this guy is already mired in controversy, nonstop controversy. It's bad enough that his confirmation was historically bad. Like, I think he only had 52 or 53 people voting for him. Normally, the Secretary of Defense gets around 90% of everybody. Democrats, Republicans. These are people that are not, controversial picks. They're people who've been in the military their entire career, and they have a strong military background. They have a strong history of, running a large organization because, as we know, the Pentagon is like 3 million people. This guy worked the weekend shift at Fox News and could not work a shift at Fox News without drinking. He was drinking on the job. They could constantly smell booze on his breath. And this dude was who Donald Trump insisted on slotting in there at the top position. Our enemies right now are looking at this like, are you kidding me? Because that's one of the main problems, is that he deals with sensitive material all the time. That's the top position. It doesn't get any higher. And our adversaries would love to get their hands, their eyes on that sensitive data. And I'm sorry, the Signal chat is not top secret secure. As Joanne Kennedy says, any one of us would be fired. Any one of us. Stella Baxter says, butter emails. Will there be a wet bar in the makeup room? Oh, for Mr. Whiskey Leaks. I forgot about that. Yeah. Things that are important to Pete Hegseth, not securing the war plans, but making sure that you have a room. They are building a custom room, makeup room for him. So I don't know, so he can make his face up orangey to look like Donald Trump. I kid you not. It's crazy. It's crazy shit. All right. So what else do we have here? We've got Trump says he'll sit for an interview with the reporter who exposed Hegseth's SignalGate. So that would be what the hell was his name? I wrote it down here. Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, was the guy who broke the story on SignalGate. It's not like this guy, this editor-in-chief, made up the names of the attendees. It's not like he invited himself to that Signal chat. Donald Trump is acting like this guy, just made up a story. So absurd. It's so absurd. But I have a clip that could give you an inkling of what that interview might end up looking like, because Donald Trump is not going to do himself any favors in that interview against the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. He's going to end up making himself look stupid, a little bit like this interview here.
Take a look at some of these charts. In numerous categories, we're lower than the world. Let me explain. Well, the test right here, take a look. You can test too much. You do know that. What it says is when you have somebody that has, where there's a case, we're last. No, but you're not reporting it correctly. We have cases, our testing, I believe, this is the testing, yeah. Yep. Check it out. New cases, new cases, new cases. The top one, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. We test more. We have, now take a look. Death is way down from where it was. Take a look at this. These are the tests. It leveled out and but you have to look at this. This is, excuse me, where it was is much higher than where it is right now. But you don't know that. That's my report as of yesterday. Wait a minute. You have to go by where, look, here is the United States. You have to go by the cases, what's called science. We have more cases. Don't we get credit for that? Well, we show more cases. They are dying. That's true. And it is what it is. Now it's going down again. And there are those that say the world is so very Just read the manuals, read the book. This one didn't reach my desk.
Absolute brilliant job of editing. That was the Jonathan Swan Axios interview. Absolutely hilarious. There's no way this guy at his current age and at the rate of deterioration of his brain, of his cognitive, there's no way he comes out. I can't wait to see. That's one interview I can't wait to see. They probably won't allow it to be shown because, like I said, he's not doing himself any favors. One thing that we did end up seeing, unfortunately, was the disgraceful display of subservience that Donald Trump shows to Vladimir Putin, of course, at the expense of President Zelensky of Ukraine. Donald Trump is basically he's presenting himself as a good faith negotiator on behalf of both parties, but he's not making any demands of Russia whatsoever. He's making all the demands of Ukraine. He's basically saying, look, just let him keep Crimea, let him, claim legal ownership of that, let him keep any other lands that they've already grabbed. You consider yourself lucky that they didn't take all of your shit. Somebody asked Donald Trump yesterday if what concessions has Vladimir Putin made? And Donald Trump's actual answer to that question was, well, he didn't take he for not taking everything. Like, what? Do you not understand what the word concession means? Do you not understand? Come on. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, buddy. Fun fact, my birthday is this Monday. I will turn 57, knock on wood, God willing. Thank you for that. And then Vladimir Putin bombed Ukraine, bombed Kiev right around, I think, was it on Easter that he bombed? And it was horrible. About 30 some odd people died. 34 people, I think, died as a result of that bombing. And the best that Donald Trump could muster was a Truth Social post in which he said, I am not happy with the Russian strikes on Kiev. Not necessary and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop. Vladimir, stop. Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are dying. Let's get the peace deal done. Yeah, that's what he posted. And you know what? The voice I used, appropriate. Very appropriate. Then this graphic here on the right, I actually did make this myself. They say the left can't meme. I'm fine with it. I don't need to meme to feel whole. I don't. But I thought this was appropriate. This is the meme with the big dog on the left and the little dog on the right. On the left there, that's Trump talking to President Zelensky with this whole chest. You don't have the cards. That's him yelling at Zelensky in the Oval Office. And then there on the right, that's little dog Trump. Russia bombs Ukraine. Pathetic. It's pathetic. I don't know where this guy gets off claiming that he is some kind of master negotiator. It's been long past 24 hours. He said it was going to take him to end the conflict, to end the war. He said 24 hours. He didn't just say 24 hours after taking office. He said, I'll do it before I'm sworn in. Well, that didn't happen, obviously. And now we're approaching 100 days. So it probably doesn't help in negotiation. It doesn't help if you indicate to one of the parties that you are 100% behind them. You're not helping the process, bro. You're not helping it. So let's now get back to, I promised you three reasons why Donald Trump is doomed. 3. Reason number 1, his ongoing battle with the courts. He is losing. And when I say he's losing, I don't mean he's winning half of these battles. He's losing 90% of his battles with the court. The court, surprisingly, is that one institution. It kind of reminds me of if you guys have seen Lord of the Rings, when Gandalf, stands there, on that little narrow walkway, and he takes his staff and it says, "You shall not pass." And he slams his staff down, and the walkway kind of collapses, it crumbles. That thing did not pass. It's a great big monster with horns. You shall not pass. Yeah, and the courts are holding the line. Excuse me. Some of these headlines here: Trump's biggest court losses, how judges are blocking his agenda. Daily Beast: Trump humiliated by judges as he loses 3 cases in a day. MSNBC: Trump facing impotence as courts hand him loss after loss. Court of public opinion, no less harsh. Yeah, that matters. And that includes today's what happened today. The arrest of that judge. That is his frustration with not getting his way. And that is going to backfire on him. I think the judges are going to continue to hold the line, because that's one of these professions. It's like, they spent a lot of time in law school, spent time studying the law. They might have their own political opinions, but these are judges. These I have been steadily gaining more and more respect for judges in terms of having integrity. And this didn't just start this year. This goes back to 2020. 2020, when Donald Trump first tried to steal the election, right? Tried to claim fraud with no evidence. He swore there was fraud. Sent Rudy Giuliani all over the place, farting and COVID coughing on people. Had no evidence of fraud. And he was turned away by 60 plus judges, many of whom were appointed by him. Many of whom were appointed by. So they're holding the line. I'm amazed, and it's one of those things that makes you proud. Makes you proud. There's not a lot that make you proud to be an American, but that's one of those things. That's one of those things, one of those institutions that is held up. Sadly, one of our other branches, the Republican half of the legislative branch, is not holding. But I don't know if I can count them. Can I count them as part? I can count them as part of number 1. because next year, 2026, is an election year. And they might be trying to hang close to Trump now because things haven't hit a fever pitch yet. But when they start to hit a fever pitch, when their constituents start screaming out in pain, they're going to have to distance themselves. And why hang tight to this guy who is a lame duck president? He's lame duck. I don't care how many 2028 Trump hats he puts out and puts on his stupid son, Eric. That dude cannot run again because he will be blatantly disregarding the Constitution. And that'll be a huge fight. But anyway, let's get over to number two. Number two is, wait, that's not right. Hang on. Yeah. Number two is the economy. It's the economy, stupid. Let's make this bigger. So the economy is the main reason that many people voted for Trump. Yeah, because he's such brilliant at economy. he's so smart. He only bankrupted several casinos. Only, casinos that never lose money. Bankrupted. I don't know where people. It boggles my mind. I don't know why people think that he is some kind of financial genius. Is it the gold? Are people just the sparkly gold? Are they distracted by that? They fooled by that bullshit? But the tide is turning. Already, the tide is turning. Pew Research Center said that they did a poll, and their poll is that only 45% of people are confident in Trump's handling of the economy. But Fox News, this fucking shocked the hell out of me. Fox News poll said 38%, only 38% of respondents approve of his handling of the economy. And I actually have another clip that was just, when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is wild, because Trump is seeing this. It's his channel. So let's see. Here we go. Brett Baer.
President talking tariffs and the economy. If you look at our new Fox News poll at 100 days job approval compared to other presidents, there you see the president at 44%, and you see his first term at 45% at this mark, the 100-day mark. We have other new polls that are revealing some concerns about the economy. Let's talk about that. The president talking tariffs and the economy. If you look at our new Fox News poll at 100.
Yeah. That's the only he previously had the lowest mark for 100 days from his first term. And so he beat it. How low can you go? Hold my covfefe. Went down from 45 to 44. And so the economy is one of the main reasons that people voted for him. And it's not just the hardcore Trumpers. We're talking like business people who they thought, I don't know why, that they thought he was going to be good at business. And so now we're starting to see there's a trend. And here's the crazy thing is that the worst of it has yet to sink in. The worst of the fallout from the tariffs, we haven't even begun to see it yet. What the hell? Oh, my thing is not responding. Having some interweb. There we go. Interweb delays here. Let's do that. Here. Check this out.
All right, guys, I didn't really want to have to get on here and do this, but I had to. These are fiberglass stakes right here. Those big, bulky stakes on the back of the truck, wooden stakes. I called 2 weeks ago to get a quote on these fiberglass stakes because we need some more stakes this year. I got a quote, 83 cents. I called the man this morning. I said, hey, I know these tariffs are crazy and everything going on. I said, what can you do me on those fiberglass stakes now if we needed a load? It's a 3-month ETA from the time you place the order. He said, Taylor, he said, you don't want to hear this price and I'm about to give you. I said, well, give it to me anyways. He said, each of those steaks now is going to be $1.74 a piece. I said, well, you know, and I know both that we can't do that, and that's going to be impossible. So that's just to let you know a little bit of what we're going through out here on our farm and what farmers in general are going through. These tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump.
Yeah, they're coming out and saying it, you know. And if you notice, he didn't heap a whole lot of shade on that. He just said it how it is, you know. Yep, I voted for Trump, and that was the end of that. There were CEOs from 4 major corporations the other day. It was Lowe's, Home Depot, damn it, I want to say Walmart, and was it Target? Because I can't give a shit about Target, but let's say it was Target for argument's sake. And they went up in the Oval Office and said, hey, you know, can you not? Can you not? Because in a very short period of time, we are going to have empty shelves. That's what he told them. That's what they told them. These CEOs, they were Home Depot, Target, and Walmart. Thank you, Joanne. Empty shelves. I remember the empty shelves from 2020. He wants to go that route, and it seems like there is somebody there, because when he started the other day, when he started beating up on Jerome Powell and saying that he was thinking about firing him, and you know, I absolutely can fire him if I want to. The markets were like, "Oh, fuck you, dude," and the markets took a deep nosedive. And then he was like, "Oh," and he backed off. He said, "Oh no, I never said any such thing." And he gets away with it because his supporters don't care, and our mainstream media, our members of the mainstream media in general, are not holding his feet to the fire enough, and they need to. Jenny Rayner says Aldi already has empty shelves. Aldi? What? I happen to like Aldi a lot. Aldi is one of those, it's a weird store. It's weird. I like it though. They have a lot of off-brand stuff, things that you won't recognize because they're like, maybe they might be a famous brand in Germany or something, but not here. That's interesting. They have a pretty good they have a pretty good inventory too. Aldi's. I hate to see that that they're struggling. Anyway, so that's point number 2, the economy. The economy, it's the economy. At the end of the day, there's nothing more important than the economy. But that third one, I already started leading into the third one. The third one is, oh, let's go back here. The third one is his supporters. Okay, now I already started to allude to say that, you know, they are going to give him a pass, right? Let's say they give him a pass for the first 3 months of this tariff thing, right? First 3 months. But this thing is gonna last. You know, if his tariff thing is going to yield any imagined fruit, any fruit that he imagines that was supposed to yield, you know, you're not just putting it on and then putting it off again. Although that is exactly what he's done already. He's already put it on and then off and then on and then off twice. He started twice. He said, we're going to do it. Oh, wait, let's put a pause. And then it was a 30-day pause. Now it's like a 90-day pause, right? If he does this again, you know, he's already got no credibility. You know, like the other countries, why would you make a deal with this motherfucker when you just know he's going to fold? Everybody knows. Poker players know, you know, financial masters and whizzes across the planet know. Don't make a deal with him until he presents some terms that are favorable to us. He needs us more than we need him. But his supporters are in the crosshairs, whether they choose to realize it or not. And there's a bunch of different reasons why they're leaving him. The biggest one is the biggest one is the economy, you know, because they had arguments with their friends and their coworkers and their relatives and stuff. Come on, he's going to be good for the economy, et cetera, et cetera. Some of these folks are not all the way down the rabbit hole. Some of them, they're farmers. They have small businesses. They're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to support their families, build their retirement accounts, whatever. And this guy is acting like, you know, like he's doesn't give a shit. He's already flushed trillions of dollars of wealth. What is happening with Zelda here? Excuse me. Zelda, if you are feeling ill, I hope you feel better soon, my friend. I can't find but everybody's saying feel better. Oh, she's got a headache. I'm sorry. Sorry, Zelda. Feel better, my friend. He's acting like he doesn't give a shit. He's flushed trillions in wealth down the tubes. And nobody is there to check him. Nobody. And these Trump supporters, you know, that MAGA feeling is going to be slowly draining away along with the value of your retirement account. It's that simple. So I do have something, but in addition to that, I have seen some stuff from people that I am not a fan of at all. I've seen stuff from people that kind of shocking. And that doesn't even have anything to do with the economy. I give you Exhibit A.
The problem with fuck that. About due process. No, fuck that. Well, here's the problem with fuck that. The problem with things that are going in a radical direction, and then there's an overcorrection. So the overcorrection is lack of due process. The overcorrection is like round them all up, ship them to jail. Like that's like some things that you say when you're not thinking things through. Like, what do you do about all the criminals? Take them all, fucking send them to El Salvador.
Yeah.
What about due process? No, fuck that. Well, here's the problem with fuck that. What if you are an enemy of, let's not say any current president. Let's pretend we got a new president, totally new guy in 2028. And this is a common practice now of just rounding up gang members with no due process and shipping them to El Salvador. You're a gang member. No, I'm not. Prove it. What? I got to go to court. No, no due process.
That's
right?
dangerous, Joe.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. I think due process exists for a reason. And the reason is it is horrific for someone to be accused of something they didn't do, be imprisoned for crimes they didn't commit, and then live in a cell, live in a cage with a bunch of
people who did commit shit.
Here it is, Benjamin Franklin. It's better 100 guilty persons should escape than one innocent person should suffer. That is wisdom.
Yeah.
That has survived hundreds of years. It's incredibly accurate, and it is the foundation of freedom. Like, we have to make sure that these people are actually guilty. Otherwise, we become monsters. You can't, like, what is that? When you fight monsters, be careful that you don't become one.
Become one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very important. It's very important. You know, you can't do that. You came over here and maybe you got a green card and maybe you don't. Maybe you were just given asylum, because a lot of people from Venezuela were given asylum in America.
Yeah.
And then you get shipped to El Salvador, where you're not even from El Salvador. So that the fact that exists scares the shit out of me.
That's a shocker. That is a major. When I saw that, I was like, what the hell is happening? You know, because he made 100% sense. I don't understand, you know, why his followers, the people who his diehard supporters, why that doesn't make sense to them. It makes perfect sense to me. At some point, there's going to be a Democrat back in the White House, and you know, let's just imagine that Democrats were vindictive, like Spanky McDumbass, you know, and there was a vindictive president who said, you know what, we're going to get some payback. We're going to round up a bunch of MAGA, and we're just going to accuse them of being gang members. It sounds ludicrous, but that is precisely what the Trump administration is doing. They're going to people, they're just judging them on their physical appearance. Apparently, they have tattoos. This guy had a tattoo and was wearing a Chicago Bulls hat, and that's it. That's all the evidence they're going by, and shipping him off to a horrible, horrible prison in El Salvador. Didn't even give them a chance to prove themselves. You're a gang member. Why? Because we said so. Get on this plane. So yeah, okay. Flip it back now. Now this Democratic president in the White House. What's going to keep you safe from being rounded up like that? If you're setting the precedent now, it's common sense. So bottom line is that Donald Trump is falling prey to his own overreach. He's overreaching all over the place. You know, birthright citizenship. He wants to, first of all, you need a constitutional amendment to undo that, right? And that's going to be a fight. That you need more, you need like 2/3 of Congress to approve that shit. So, but he's trying to do it anyway. And his approach to change is not, has really, I don't think, any interest. He doesn't really have any real interest in changing anything. He has interest in creating chaos to distract us all from what he really wants to do, is raid the fucking, the money. That's all he cares about. That is all he cares about. Keep your eyes on the goddamn money. That's all he cares about. He's loosened or weakened any restrictions on bribes to and from foreign agents. He's making it legal for him to do whatever grifty shit that he wants to do. he has a coin, a crypto coin. I kid you not. He's doing this thing where the top donors to the top buyers of his coin will have unfettered access to him. That is like a blatant invitation to bribe me. Bribe me, and you can hold court with me. You can gain access to the presidency. That's some fucked up, scary shit. And the rest, I don't think he really cares. I think in a smaller sense, he might care about some of the culture wars, wokeness or whatever. Wokeness, I think somebody pulled him up years ago about, about touching a woman's arm. He was probably like the guy grew up in the 70s and 80s where, he was master of the universe. And if he wanted to touch a woman's ass, that's what he did. And then suddenly people started getting pulled up on it and he didn't like it. And so he went on this fucking revenge, journey to eradicate political correctness. It's Ms., not Mrs., or some dumb shit. He didn't like having to call people African American. They're black, right? They're black. I don't know. But he seems like this guy that gets fully distracted and engulfed in this thing that irritates him. Like, for instance, the windmills. He has a thing against windmills, and it all goes back to his property in I forget if it's Scotland or Ireland. It's like the Turnberry golf course. It's because he doesn't like how it looks in the background of his golf course. That's it. But that's his. So ever since then, any chance he gets, he puts down effectiveness, the efficacy, and the value of windmills. It's causing cancer to eagles and this nonsense. Scotland, thank you. Anyway, so I promised three. I promised 3 reasons why he's doomed. There's a 4th reason, and I think it's the most important reason. It's us. It's us. It's oh, actually, wait a minute. I think I do have let me put this back up here. It's us. If those of you who've been paying attention have seen this past couple of months, you've seen massive numbers of people, not small numbers, massive numbers of people all across the nation in red states and blue states, not just blue states. And then none of these are not paid protesters. It's the most ridiculous accusation I've ever heard from Elon Musk. Oh, they can't, all these people can't possibly hate me. They fucking despise you, bro. They despise you. Elon Musk, we didn't leave Elon Musk. He left us. At one point, he was on the right side of things in terms of, he was creating this car, this Tesla that, was intended to save the environment. Although actually now I think about it, I think they're probably not they're not as helpful to the environment as we'd like to think, but whatever. It reduces our reliance on fossil fuels. But the people that he's catering to don't give a shit about the climate. You're shooting yourself in the foot, you jackass. But yeah, the 4th reason is it's us. It's us. We are not going to let this fucker take over and turn this country into a dictatorship. It's what he wants. And I saw something today. Pam Bondi's brother, I think, is going to be running for I think the DC bar or something like that, so that he can maybe vote against people who oppose Donald Trump. Some shit, some convoluted power grab shit. They're also going after Act Blue. Act Blue is like the fundraising arm of the Democratic Party. That's when we're contributing money to candidates for Senate, candidates for the House, or whatever, it all goes through Act Blue. That's how they're able to organize and mobilize funds to help get these people elected. And they're trying to go after that too. So we're not going for it. We're going to fight them on every fucking thing that we have to. We're going to try not to be distracted as much as possible by the irrelevant shit. We'll focus on what's most important. Right now, I think the most important things are Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, defending those from cuts and applying pressure where it needs to be. That is the most important thing. Everything else is like an equal second. It's an equal second to those. We have to hold the line on those. Absolutely. So, guys, thank you for joining me for another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Oh, wait. I didn't finish reading the story to you. I let me finish. It's not that long. Trust me. So I said, first, he doubled down on tariffs, slapping 100% tax on all imported goods, from Chinese tech to Canadian maple syrup. We'll make everything here, he boomed, picturing a factory on every corner. But the huge container ships, once bustling with trade, sat idle in their harbors, their cargo rotting as prices for everyday goods skyrocketed. Americans grumbled as their grocery bills doubled, and the economy began to wobble like a Jenga tower in a windstorm. Next, Trump decided to take on the courts, believing they were out to get him. I'm the best at law. Nobody knows law better than me, he proclaimed, firing off executive orders to dismantle judicial oversight. But the courts pushed back hard, freezing his orders and launching investigations into his every move. Images of Trump, wide-eyed and pacing in the Oval Office, flooded the internet. He looked like a man who just realized the all-you-can-eat buffet had run out of steak. Finally, Trump underestimated his own loyal supporters. He ignored their pleas to focus on jobs and instead spent his days golfing and tweeting about his perfect leadership. Outside the White House, angry MAGA hat-wearing crowds gathered, wielding pitchforks and shouting, "You promised us greatness, not chaos." The man who once commanded their unwavering devotion now faced their wrath, his hands clutching his head in anguish as he screamed into the stormy skies. Hang on, I have a picture for this. Right there. His hands clutching his head in anguish as he screamed into the stormy skies. You see the pitchforks there, you guys? And so, dear listeners, everything went bad for Donald Trump. His empire of bravado crumbling faster than a sandcastle at high tide. His inadvisable choices spelled certain doom, a tale of hubris that led us to today's episode of Storytime with BDD, the top 3 reasons why Trump is doomed. So I thank you. I thank you all for tuning in today. I hope you will tell your friends and your family members about this show. Help us gain some more viewers here. And I look forward to seeing you. Oh, please remember to tune in for the show tomorrow. The not the White House Correspondents dinner tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and go to meethook, meethook.live/not. It's $20. You get a lot of bang for your buck there. I hope to see you guys tomorrow, and I hope to see you here next week, same time, same place. I love you all. Peace.